How's it going, guys, and welcome to the 1 million video thing. Instead of doing this the way I would normally do it, I instead have random gameplay, and there's probably going to be some sort of like face cam in a corner somewhere, as opposed to just me having a webcam or a camera or whatever. So that way you don't have to look at my stupid face and my stupid hair that much, because I know how much some of you really don't like looking at those two things. So I figured I'd minimize that for you. So most of the video should be gameplay, and like years ago I did something with Peggle for an update video or some sort of subscriber special thing, and people seem to have liked it for some reason. Peggle seems really interesting to people for whatever reason. Probably the same reason that I like to watch Plinko on The Price is Right. At least I'm pretty sure it was Plinko, but yeah, so that's what we're gonna do, and hopefully people do like the Plinko Peggle thing. But other than that, I hit 1 million subs yesterday. At probably like, I don't know, 5, 6 p.m., something like that. So it's really cool. It took a very long time, but this is much more than I ever thought I would get. Like, I figured, you know, maybe I'll get 10, 20,000 subs, and that'll be it. I'll go along my way, and whatnot. And that was roughly 5 years ago. Just short of 2 months from now, it will be the channel's 5-year video upload anniversary. That's the time that I consider the channel actually up and running. The creation date is probably somewhere early in the year 2008, but I didn't start uploading videos until October of 2008. So that's when I consider the channel the anniversary, or whatever you want to call it. So it's like October 9th or something like that, October 8th, somewhere around there. I usually just go and look up the first video that was on the channel, and that's usually what I go with. So I figured roughly around the time, October or so, maybe November, I would hit 1 million subs. I figured it would be by the end of the year, but I didn't know when, and this is a little bit earlier than I thought, which is good. Shows that the channel has grown a little bit faster than what I thought it was going to, so that's always a good thing. But what to do about 1 million subs? There were a couple things that I considered doing with 1 million subs, and I think I'm going to do a couple things regardless, but I didn't know of a good, like, I'm never really good with figuring out what to do as some sort of, like, commemorative special, like, I don't know, because it's like, well, if I do something game-related, then, like, I do game-related stuff all the time on the channel. I'm not very good with writing shorts or filming, for that matter, so something like that probably wouldn't be so great, so I'll probably go with, like, a combination. And I also want to ask for your help on what you think would be something good to do. Now, of course, this could be anything you can think of. I was thinking maybe people would select a game, like people would throw out a bunch of game ideas, and I would make a poll for a later video, and then people would decide on what to do then. However, I cannot promise that the game would be fully complete if it is a single-player game, because I tried to do this probably years ago, and honestly, the list of games that was compiled had to have been the worst list of games of all time, and I was really worried, because it was like, oh yeah, you guys can pick whatever game you want, and it was like the shittiest list of games that ever existed. It wasn't like, oh, you should go back and do Red Dead Redemption. It wasn't like that. It wasn't like, oh, Red Dead Redemption, so it was some really other good games you've never done. No, it was like the shittiest, trolliest games ever, and I was like, yeah, I don't know. So depending on what's picked, I wouldn't expect a completed version of it, unless it was like, you know, Red Dead Redemption, which I have been planning to go back at some point to do. But just keep in mind that. So that was something I kind of figured could be done. A bunch of games could be listed off, and I could do something with it, a couple videos, maybe a playthrough, something like that. But it's really up to you guys. If you guys have any good ideas, I'm sure people will thumbs up the good ideas to the top, and I'll see them occasionally. Like I said, it doesn't have to be that. It could be that, among other things. But that was one of the things that I thought of. The other thing I thought of was a potential stream. I've been trying to stream a little bit more. I haven't announced any of these, really. I announced 1 out of like 3 or 4 on Twitter. I've streamed 3 or 4 times in the past probably 2 weeks. Just trying to get things together and get comfortable with it and whatnot. I'm sure some of you have, if you haven't watched the video, some of you might have seen stream nonsense videos go up, which were just me kind of screwing around with random games on stream. I plan to do more of that, so for those of you who liked it. The first video did fairly well. It did a little bit better than I thought it would. I didn't really know what to expect from it, but I figured I could do an announced stream. However, the problem with that is that I'm sure most of you know that some streamers, especially the creatures, have had very, very tough time streaming certain things, and a lot of times it falls short. So I plan on doing it, but I don't know how long it would last because of these problems. So it could last 6 hours, it could last 10 minutes. That's kind of the problem. I know people always say, well, why don't you just fix the problem, you know? It's somewhat harder to fix than you would think. There are some easy fixes, but unfortunately not all of those work 100% of the time for, you know, long durations, but I can definitely try. I haven't had any problems yet where I'm at, but you never know. So I do plan on doing that, but like I said, don't expect... Have your expectations low for this stream. If I'm going to announce it like in a video, there could just be a whole bunch of shit that goes wrong. So I'm going to try. We'll see how that goes. That was one of the other things I wanted to do. And then I wanted to make this video. I already talked about what do you call it? You guys maybe listing different ideas or different games you might want to see, and then I can take it into a poll and make a video in the future, and then, you know, you guys can vote collectively on whatever you want. So tons of stuff like that could be done. But the other thing I thought of doing was the big thing with my channel for the past 5 years was the name of the channel. People never really knew what it meant. Now, I've explained what PKC means. People still get it confused with, you know, whatever they want to make their own acronym letters for it. But I've already explained what PKC meant because that was something I created probably within the last 3 years or so. It had to have been before. It had to have been like right when I got into college, because obviously the channel is 5 years old, so almost 5 years old. So it had to have been right then. I had to do something for one of my college classes, and that was the acronym that I came up with. It was like a Mother Earthbound reference. It was kind of dumb, but it was psychokinetic collaboration. That was already explained like years ago, but the front of the name SSoH was never explained, and there are two different things that people always think it means, because they were apparently, they sound good, and everyone just kind of gravitated to it. And I've always said that, you know, it didn't stand for my name, because a lot of people thought it stood for Shameless O'Doherty, which doesn't make any sense, because if you look at an acronym, usually the bigger letters stand for something, and like a small letter might be like a really minor word or something like that. So it wouldn't make sense, because the first S would be correct, because my name starts with a capital S, as most proper nouns do. But then the second S at the end of my name is lowercase, then the O is uppercase, and then the H would be lowercase. So that would be like an uppercase S, a small S, and then like an uppercase O and a small A. It wouldn't make much sense for that. So I've tried to disprove that many times, but people still think it's that. The other thing was that people thought it meant a sarcastic sense of humor. And I've explained as well that I made the name when I was probably 15. It was like a month before I started my sophomore year in high school. And I didn't develop my sarcasm until much later on, when I was probably 17 or 18, because it was a defense mechanism that I developed in high school, because high school was a really, really shitty time. So I made the name 2 or 3 years at least before I started becoming very sarcastic. So that's how I've tried to disprove that. However, a lot of people still think it's that for whatever reason. But the thing I wanted to do was potentially start revealing my name. And the reason why I didn't really want to do it that much was because it's really stupid. It was something I made when I was 15. It has no meaning whatsoever now. I've tried to tell people it's really stupid, but people still want to know about it, for, you know, one reason or another. So I figured I would reveal the name. But in typical me fashion, there is a catch. And the catch is that for every 1,000,000 subs I get, one letter is revealed until ultimately the final name is explained if and when I hit 4 million, which may never happen. It could happen in 20 years, it could happen in 5 years, it could happen never years. So that's something to look forward to, I guess. And we'll reveal one letter for this one, which will reveal the most important one, which is the O. It's lowercase, and most people will probably assume that it has to be a minor word, like of or. And, unfortunately, this doesn't disprove the sarcastic sense of humor, no matter how many times I've tried to say it, but the O does stand for of. What the other 3 letters stand for, I'm sure people will be guessing and trying to say, like, oh, I know the answer, it has to be sarcastic sense of humor, and blah, 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 blah. But I've said before, and I'll say it again, that if it does stand for sarcastic sense of humor, I will close the channel down. I will delete the channel willingly. And I'm not going to do that, because as a creator of the acronym, I know that it doesn't stand for sarcastic sense of humor, despite what people may believe. So yeah, that's my claim. If it does stand for sarcastic sense of humor, if the next letter that I reveal is either sarcastic, sense, or humor, I will close the channel down. Because those letters don't stand for any of that. And I'm 100% certain of that, because I created the acronym. See? I did it. I was the one that made it, so I would know what it stands for. So, the O, the mystery is solved about the O, it stands for of. And that is kind of the catch with this. You get to know one letter, and the other 3 letters remain a mystery for potentially forever. I don't know. But that was probably like big news for some people. It was kind of like Spoon's face, I guess. You know, I always said like Spoon's face is to him is what, you know, SSoH is to me. It was kind of like a mystery. He didn't really want to reveal it. I didn't really want to reveal it because I think it's stupid. Like, it doesn't... The name itself is stupid. Like, people wanting to know, I don't think that's stupid. But the name itself is stupid. I made it when I was younger. It was really dumb. It means really nothing. And I'll explain it if and when I do hit the magical 4 million mark. I'll explain it all and what it's about. But I think people will be disappointed by it. Maybe that's just me. Because I made it and I think it's stupid now. But it was something I kind of held on to because it was like the first actual thing I made up in regards to like gaming and the internet and stuff like that. So it meant a lot at one point. It still kind of means a lot, but I don't know. I don't know, like, I don't know if people expect some sort of magical meaning behind it, like some sort of world peace solving mystery that will like come out of a box and, you know, spread joy to all the boys and girls. Like, I don't know what people want, so we'll see. We'll see. So the O stands for of. 25% of the mystery has been solved. I'm solving it for you. So I'm sure people will continue to guess what it is and still claim that it's sarcastic sense of humor, even though I said that I would close the channel down if it was, which it isn't, and the channel will not be closed down willingly because of that. So there you go. I wanted to thank you guys greatly for, you know, subscribing and watching my stuff over the past years, whether it was, you know, you enjoyed it or whether you hated it. It still contributed to where I am now. A lot of people will know that I did work at Target for almost 4 years. It was about 3.5 years, and it was not fun. It was very, very not fun. I'm in a much better position now, despite some people saying, "Oh, all you do is play video games. You know, you're a YouTuber. You get a real job." Blah blah. I'm in a much better position now than I ever was at Target. So, you know, you just kind of have to ignore that stuff and let it roll off your back. I'm kind of used to it by now, what people say, whether it be negative or positive. I always appreciate the positive stuff, and some of the negative stuff I can appreciate too, because sometimes people do raise good points, but for the most part, you just kind of got to let it roll off your back and ignore it. I am where I am now, in part thanks to you guys who continue to watch my stuff on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. Whenever you watch it, it's fine. Whether you're subscribed or not, it's fine. I mean, if you find some entertainment out of it, then that's fine. If you don't and you can offer constructive criticism, that's fine too, for the most part. So, yeah, other than that, I can't thank you guys enough for where I am now. I'm in a much better position because I don't know where I would have been at if I hadn't started YouTube and if people hadn't started watching me. Like, I might still be at Target, hating everything about Target. But fortunately, for the past couple years now, I haven't had to deal with any of that. And it's mostly because of you guys. So, thank you guys very much. Hopefully the future goes even better for the channel and myself and all of us collectively. Hopefully it continues to grow and whatnot. Hopefully the community on YouTube continues to grow, and hopefully YouTube continues to get better in the future. They do some questionable things with layouts and stuff, but that's YouTube for you. Kind of par for the course now. But I just want to thank you guys for watching this. Those of you who did, if you do have any ideas you would like to throw out on what you might like me to do, besides a stream and besides kind of revealing parts of the name as we go on, I hope most of you will not be disappointed by that. I hope most of you will be kind of excited and kind of interested to see where the name goes. So hopefully I didn't annoy or upset people over a name for whatever reason, but I'm sure a couple people will be like, "Oh, you never should have done it," but it's kind of what people have wanted for the longest. So, you know, I've gotten this far. I hit a major milestone of 1 million subs, and I feel like this might be the better thing to do, especially revealing one letter at a time, because that kind of makes me happy, because it's kind of like trollish and kind of, you know, it comes with a catch, really. And you guys are just going to have to wait until I hit 2 million, if I do hit 2 million for the next letter. And other than that, thank you. I hope you enjoyed my amazing Peggle skills. They are quite MLG. I'm gonna apply for the MLG Peggle circuit next year. Hopefully I get in. Wish me luck. Fingers crossed and all that. But other than that, thank you, and I will see you guys later.